Cool.
Cool.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Welcome to Sports Econ 101. This is the show where we present sports topics from a business perspective.
Another episode.
Another episode. Now, this time we don't have any special guests, so we're just going to have to wing it ourselves.
Freewheeling in
Come on,
America.
You got
That's
three
right.
special guests right here.
Yeah,
You don't
That's
need any
right.
special
That's
guests.
right. I'm your host, Edward Brown. I'm pleased to have as my co-host Vern Glenn of CBS affiliate KPIX-TV in San Francisco, and well-known radio sports personality Bruce McGowan.
And look, and working the phones on the other side of the glass, a Econ 101 babe.
There you go.
Yeah.
Don is the Econ
Get
101.
away.
Except for our viewers who are watching this on TV can't see her.
No,
Yeah,
that's true. I'm
just
so-
have to
I'm
kind
sorry.
of we just kind of have to spark your imagination.
She's
She's over there.
jawing away, working
Yeah.
the phone.
Yeah.
All right.
She doesn't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Now, today's trivia theme is the World Series. I mean, I got some World Series questions for us because,
That's
we're in
interesting.
October and we're getting
Yeah, it's
close.
interesting you brought that up because I was having a hard time going to sleep last night. So you know what I did? This is the weirdest thing in the world. Whenever I have a hard time sleeping, I start lists, and I go back in my memory, and I remembered every single World Series winner from 1946 on.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
1966, Baltimore,
Four
four
games over
the
the Dodgers.
Yeah, I know that.
1946, St. Louis 7 games over the Boston Red Sox.
Okay, well, we're going through every single
That's
one of those.
incredible.
I don't know why, but I just remember that.
I used to be able to remember the Super Bowls.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
oh, yeah.
But now
there's less of
now
those.
there's too many of them.
Too many of them.
Wasn't it Dave Havlicek who
John Havlicek.
John Havlicek.
Yeah.
Who could remember he memorized like the
Oh,
Houston
you're thinking
phone
of
book?
no, you're thinking of the John Luke.
Jerry
Lucas.
Lucas.
Jerry
Jerry
Lucas,
yeah.
yeah,
He memorized
that's right.
the whole Houston.
Former,
and that's a
yeah.
thick phone book.
Wow.
Yeah, he had that rare ability. He was a great player with the Knicks, the Warriors, and the Cincinnati Royals.
Yeah, and who are those folks that can get you can give them a date and they can tell you
What happened
like,
on that day?
Yeah.
I think there's something a little off with those people, and I guess that's true of me too.
I can remember my birthday. Is that pretty good? January 17, 1960. Who was that? Edward Brown was born.
right.
You were born right about the time JFK was running for. Well, I guess he didn't.
No, but me and Ben Franklin have the same birthday. Okay.
Oh.
So you're listening to Sports Econ 101. This segment is sponsored by Pacific Private Money, providing mortgage investments that are currently yielding 8%. Check them out at pacificprivatemoney.com. Stay with us. Sports Econ 101 will continue.
I got some bad news that there's a piece of gum underneath your desk here. Somebody put, and it's stuck up against.
Get out of here.
It's
really?
stuck.
Wow.
I'll get it off.
Jeez.
Previous guest, some
Previous
guest.
guys put their gum here. Here it is. Let me show you.
There it is.
I mean, what is this? High school?
What is this anyway? This is
I'm
an
gonna,
office.
I'm gonna guess it was who's the
Baker.
lawyer? Who's the lawyer you have in here right now? Then?
Oh
Dave
yeah.
Rubenstein?
Yeah, you saw him at the gym. I bet it was
Yeah.
him.
You know what you need? You need
I'm
some.
about
You need
putting it
some sports photos. You should
I
get some
do.
sports
You know
photos.
what? You know why those guys were here?
You know, we should have
I
had.
got a bunch. I just
We should have had a sports econ
Oh,
101
that's
like a dry base calendar. So
Yeah.
the ones who come in could autograph the.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That's a really good
Yeah.
idea.
That's kind of fun.
Shoot.
You can
Well,
put it on the background of the.
we're going to most likely be moving from this suite, and I'm trying to work
Oh,
out
that's right. You're talking
yeah.
about you're negotiating for a big.
Just like KGO is moving.
Are they really?
Yeah, we are. We're moving. Well, I only work there part time, but KGO, KNBR, KFOG, the whole.
You're moving out of 55
Yeah,
Norfolk?
they're moving over to Broadway and Battery, which is right in the heart of one of the busiest.
In our building? 855?
No, we're not moving to your building. We're moving across the street from you guys.
Oh, you know what? There's this
Yeah.
unused space
That's
that's
right.
there,
That's it. That's
right
where we're
next to
moving.
the Subway sandwich shop.
Yeah, I
And
hear it's.
nobody's in it.
I don't know how about the
Sports
parking.
Byline is close to that.
It's right across the street from that too.
Yeah.
Right up the street from Vern. Yeah. I worked at Sports Byline for all of 3 weeks just because I needed some money, and I tell you, it was the worst job I've ever had. Ron Barr I like personally, but God, he was a terror to work for.
I've heard that you told me that.
Well, I filled out this form for him, with here's what time the guest's going to be on. Here's what we're going to talk about, blah, blah, blah. He goes, Bruce, this isn't done right. He was like, so
very
tight.
anal about it.
Very
Did
anal.
you see him at the Niner? I saw him at the Niner.
Oh, I
game
did,
on Sunday.
Rich woke up, it's funny, he goes, he's not going to blow hard.
He is.
Be careful, we are.
Oh, sorry.
recording.
Sorry, folks.
Yeah.
Which, by the
But he
way,
Maybe
means
he'll
well.
listen to this.
that's so funny because
He does
I-
mean
you know,
well.
I never had a problem with Ron, but Ron is tough to work for, I will say that.
No.
So, but, I was in a tough position. He needed some help. And so,
Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll just talk about some. I just have some fun
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
here, and you guys got
Go.
fun stuff.
Ready?
Go.
I'm all about
Here we
fun. So is Vern.
Here we go. Sports Econ 101 continues with Edward Brown, me, along with Vern Glenn, him, and Bruce McGowan over there.
Yes.
Okay, so just even though we don't have a guest, we're just going to talk about some fun stuff here. So, did you see the hit the strengthening coach leveled on the student who came onto the field?
Oh yeah, at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
No.
So
Body slammed him.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
Some
yeah.
kid ran on the field and got body slammed by the strength and
he
conditioning coach?
was a former player,
Uh-huh.
and
The kid?
Oh, the kid? No, the coach.
the
The
coach,
coach, okay.
the coach was a linebacker.
Uh-huh. How old was this guy?
30s, 30s.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, kid ran on the field, and both the instincts stepped in.
Yeah.
Boom!
Just brought him
he
down?
kind of grabs him from the neck and
Uh-huh.
then just kind of, almost like a wrestling move, and just slams him on
Did
the
he
ground.
hurt him?
He didn't seem to.
Well,
get
I'm sure
hurt.
he was-
I'm sure he
was stunned.
Yeah.
Probably just humiliated him.
So
Yeah.
the student, here's the silly thing is that the student may just have lost his scholarship. for
Oh,
trespassing
that's
on the
right. I
field.
did hear about that.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
was-
see it. Was it on the YouTube?
Wow,
or
he was
something?
there on like an academic scholarship or
Yeah.
something.
And I
Oh
think he's
wow.
in his senior year.
Why?
Oh,
So
for-
why
oh,
would he
for
run?
what?
You gotta wait till
I don't
after
think.
you
I
graduate.
don't think.
Why
they'll
would
get
he
that far.
run on
I think
the
they're
field?
trying. I think they're just trying to put the fear of God in it.
Well, because so then.
Was he drunk or something? Why would he run on the field and endanger his scholarship?
Because kids are.
Kids do stupid stuff.
I know, but that's really
just,
dumb.
Just wait.
Don't
You
do
have
it
a
in
young
front.
daughter.
Don't do it in front of 60,000 people. You know, do it in the privacy of your own house.
Well,
2 words: liquid courage.
Oh, yeah.
liquid courage.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so his attorney is looking into the
course.
ferocity of the hit.
Oh, of course.
Why? Well,
Why?
To see how much he can sue
Of
for, I'm
course.
sure, right?
Yeah.
So, and the student has pled not guilty. It wasn't me. It was the other dude.
Well, if the student has his scholarship taken away, you better hope he's got a good lawyer to sue him, because that's the only way he's going to get any money out of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, because you'd lose your scholarship. I mean, at least come out of that with some change. You know, jeez. Come on.
It'd be worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, in fact, wasn't there like a 30 on 30 or something they did that Morgana? Remember she?
Oh, the
yeah.
kissing bandit.
They didn't tackle her.
No.
They didn't tackle.
No,
We have a guy in San Francisco named James who's been working forever. You know, James with the big afro.
Mhm.
So James, this is back in the 1980s. Some rude fan ran on the field and wanted to punch out one of the Giants during a bad game. And James was in the photographer's well. James, who played football, ran out and just nailed this guy amidships and knocked him flying like a quarterback being sacked. And the crowd went wild.
Oh,
And I always remind James that. He goes, yeah, that was my one moment of glory.
Well, do you remember?
Knocked him down, held him down.
Well, he held him down. The
Held
cops
him
came, yeah.
And then the yellow jacket events people came.
Yeah, they came. Well, he
Yeah.
was so stunned. The guy was like, you know, kind of, oh, what happened? You know,
And was it Rick Monday when he was playing left field? Somebody
tried to
flag?
come on the field. 2 guys came on the field,
Yeah.
dropped the American flag, put kerosene on it, and lit it on fire. He chased them off and put the fire out and earned the standing ovation from the Dodgers.
I remember in the middle of a NFL game, Mike Curtis, then the linebacker
yeah,
for the Baltimore Colts,
Yeah.
just
that guy.
nailed him. Hey,
Nailed
he's
the
gonna be on the field.
Nailed
He's
the
gonna
fan.
get in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and Mike
Open
Curtis
season.
wrote a famous book called "Keep Off My Turf,"
Mhm.
and I think that's what he was trying to explain to this guy in so many, not his words, but by action. Keep off my turf.
Not to be confused with Clint Eastwood saying, "Get off my lawn."
Get off my lawn.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
right. In the Gran Torino.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
he was
movie.
good in that
Get
film.
off.
Yeah.
That was an interesting kind of off the wall film because
It
it
was
dealt with
very
a
much.
group of people who nobody even knows about. The Hmong
Hmong
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was really interesting. I found it interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was a good one too. In fact, he ends up having a little bit more respect for the old lady who can spit like he could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He turns out to be a decent guy after all.
Does.
Yeah.
Who, Clint?
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's an ass. Well, sorry for saying he is a horse's.
Boy,
you know what?
you ever met him, Edward?
No.
He could be
Yeah.
crusty curmudgeon.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, he's 80 years old now.
Yeah.
Well, he hates us, the media. He's just
Yeah, he
a guy.
does not like the media at all.
Yeah.
Oh,
When Pebble Beach Pro-Am time comes around,
don't want to talk to him.
yeah,
Stay away from him.
Well, the media
What do you
should have been
want?
mean to him.
What do you
No,
want
it's
him
just
for?
he just that's
Yeah,
just
they're
kind of how he
used for it.
is, and he's one of the owners of Pebble Beach now. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got one of those voices too that just intimidates you.
Oh,
know,
that's,
what do you want?
Yeah.
Who are you with?
Born in Oakland, California.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Did you see Trouble with the Curve?
I did.
I haven't seen
I
that.
enjoyed that.
I did. I was distracted by Amy Adams though. Every
Oh,
scene
yeah.
she was in.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Trouble with the
Yeah, what they say? I don't know. I was looking at
Double
Amy Adams.
entendre there. So a little double entendre there. Yeah.
Okay, so now this is obviously before the season ended, but did you see Austin Jackson for the Seattle Mariners showing why you have to run everything out? So his ability to avoid the double play kept the season for the Mariners alive
Right.
for one extra game. You know, a lot of times these guys, they'll hit a ground ball. And
They
go
go,
right
oh,
to the
that's an
field,
out,
right,
and then
it's
they-
out.
yep.
Exactly. But because he ran it out, he avoided the double play, and then they ended up, I believe, scoring, and that kept the season alive for one more
So
extra
they won
game.
that game. They won that game thanks to his hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love to see that. I mean, but you don't hear people praising players very often. At least those of us in the media, when a guy does that, because just for whatever reason, unless it's a big game, we're just like, that's what he should be doing.
No, but Pete Rose used to run everything.
Oh, he did.
I remember earlier in the year, Matt Williams benched Bryce Harper for not running it out.
Yeah,
that was a little controversy there.
And who was the outfielder? My dad told me about this years ago. It was an outfielder who, kind of gingerly walked to center field.
Mm-hmm.
And when he came back, the manager had said, if you don't know how to run to center field, I'll find someone else who can.
Oh, yeah.
And he would, every single time, he just ran
right out there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It was.
That's a good story.
Okay. So it's funny. I was just thinking about this too. The Royals clinching the playoff berth before they actually went to the next.
Oh, the wild card.
Yeah.
Before going,
So it said that was the first time since they won in 1985, and since 1985 they have had only 8 winning seasons.
Yeah. Well, they had a horrible ownership. David Glass is one of the worst owners in baseball. He's a skinflint. He doesn't know baseball. He hires the wrong people. And they've had just a ghastly succession of front office people come and go. Now they finally got a good group. Maybe they'll hang in there.
Yeah, they were just reveling in it, man. I must admit, I mean, even though they knocked out the A's in the wild card, I mean, it was just to see the raw emotion
that was a great
coming out of the pores of the
Yeah.
players and the fans. It was like, wow.
I'm still upset about that.
It was such a great game, though. You didn't have, even if you're an A's fan, you feel, you can't feel completely devastated because it was just such a great game. They left me breathless, and I don't get breathless very often.
Couldn't Melvin see that Lester was starting to lose in the 6th inning?
Yeah, he wanted to stay with the guy. He wanted to prove Billy right.
Well, I'm telling you, is it possible that they can have someone, let's say, I just use me as an example, someone like me watching TV to be able to see things that they can't see?
Oh, they see these things. The problem is when every move like that, though, is subject to so much scrutiny. It's like the play with Bumgarner in the playoffs where he threw a ball away recently. People saying, "Oh, that's his fault." Is it Posey's fault? What happened to the throw? I mean, there's just so many ways to look at it.
Instinctive thing,
Yeah.
I'm sure that if he said, Posey yelling 3-3-3, I mean, if he could easily have seen that he couldn't have gotten him. Now he could have, but let's say that for whatever reason he looked and he couldn't have seen him. That he was going to get him. He probably would have just turned around and thrown it.
It was just so bang bang.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about making a decision in a split.
Yeah.
Like less than a second.
Interesting little side note to that. Wilson Ramos, the guy who laid down the bunt, hadn't laid down a successful bunt all year. And it was on a 2-strike count, of course.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go.
Expect that.
That's what
so
you
just finish up this real quick thing on the Royals. So in that period of time, so you're talking about, 29 years as the Royals, right? Greg Maddux played all of his 23 years.
Right.
Bonds hit 762 home runs.
Wow.
Right? And most of the Royals players weren't even born yet.
Yeah, that's right.
That's amazing.
And a lot of their fans weren't even born yet.
Yeah,
I bet you there are a lot of their
fan base.
Yeah.
But we had Buddy Biancalana on. Remember?
Yeah, Buddy.
He was shortstop.
He was a big part of that.
He was.
Big part of that, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to cut to our first commercial break. The theme is the World Series.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
All
Ready?
right.
Okay. Which team had a record of 5 wins and no losses in the 7th game of World Series play?
5 wins and 5
5 wins
losses.
and no
5-0
losses
in
when
the
they went to
7th.
Game 7.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Right? Because
Okay.
we're talking about the 7th game of a World
Okay.
Series. All right. The first
5-0.
3 emails with the correct answer win a free 3-day 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Email Edward at sportsecon101.com the answer to this question. Which team had a record of 5 wins and no losses in the 7th game of World Series play? Right? Everyone understand that question?
Answer's very easy.
You got that one?
It's so obvious. It just jumps out of me.
Really? Does it?
Wow, baby,
Wow.
Yeah.
Bruce.
If I'm wrong, I will be absolutely shocked.
Okay. Well,
It'll be the
you can't
all-time-
look at my notes.
I'm not looking at your notes.
And he doesn't have the internet.
Because I was thinking this very thing last night. That's one of the things
that's
that
not fair.
Well, I wasn't thinking the very question you asked, but something somewhat related.
Something related.
Relatively close.
Okay, stay with us. Sports Econ.
I can
101.
see Bruce now. The wife kind of leans over. Not now. I'm making my list.
Stay with us.
Don't laugh. It's
101
partially true.
continues.
So what happens when you turn 62? You get Irish arthritis. Everything gets stiff except for that one area.
Good one. Good one.
God.
Yeah, and then let's say. the
My
reason
wife
that
was
we're
so funny.
doing
The
this-
other night, she gives me half of this little blue pill. And I go, "What's that?" She goes, "You know darn well what it is."
Hey, she was ready.
She
Yeah, man.
was so funny, and I said, "I don't need that." She goes, "Oh, yes, you do."
Oh, that's so funny.
And she goes, I don't trust you with the whole one, though." She was just cracking me up.
I wonder how many women.
Great.
I wonder how many women actually purchase the bagger for their.
My wife did for me.
Yeah.
She was ready for some fun.
You've got a good sense of self-esteem.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not a big deal to you one way or the other,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah. I was just thinking about it the other day. I said the first experience I ever had with a woman was so positive. You know, if you have a bad experience the first time, I can kind of like,
Yeah.
you know. I was really lucky. I met a really nice. She was a very nice girl.
Wow.
I shouldn't be saying this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this is going to go on YouTube and go viral. You know, Vernon Glenn, Edward Brown, and Bruce McGowan talking about their sexual experiences in the 1990s. Like anybody would be interested.
What was the show about? I don't know, but did you hear what they were talking about in between? During the breaks?
Speaking of, I was watching the outtakes for Howard Stern's Private Parts movie with Paul Giamatti playing Pig Vomit. And Pig Vomit was my boss who just died recently. And I don't know if you heard the story. He died at his
That was
desk.
his nickname.
His nickname.
Yeah.
Howard Stern called him that.
Oh.
And he was his boss for a while. And he used to say things like, "Now, Howard, when you're doing your call letters station break, I don't want to hear this WNBC. I want to hear WNBC. Practice it with me. WNBC. No. WNBC." This is the kind of thing that he put this guy through.
Mm-hmm.
It's a true story. And so I was asking Kevin Matheny, who's a real nice guy. He just passed. I said, "Is that true?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah, I get that." I said, "Why did you do that?" He goes, "Because I was a tight ass in those days, and I want to control everything, you know."
Jeez.
Wow, and it's well, hey, at least he admits it.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Like
He
you
said
said,
Howard Stern was the best thing that ever happened to me because it loosened me up. So
Didn't he sign like $500 million contract or something?
God, it's ridiculous. I mean, he gets ratings, man.
Yeah. And people want to listen to him. The people who hate him want to listen to him.
Yeah, he's
He
the
is
ultimate
entertaining.
polarizing Howard Cosell status.
Yeah, but he doesn't talk about politics, so he doesn't piss people off. He just talks about things like farting and chasing women and things.
Bitches,
Yeah.
blunts,
Yeah.
drugs.
Yeah.
I know it's funny because even with my conservative views,
He's got
I've watched his show and I don't dislike him.
He's not a dislikable person.
Yeah, exactly.
No, he's not
He gets
a
a little
mean spirited.
raunchy.
He gets a little
Exactly.
raunchy.
Yeah.
But he knows where his bread is buttered. He's got. I guess his daughter is now like 20, 24, 25 now, something like that.
Wow.
And he's like, well, he's about your age. Actually, he's older than you. He's about my age.
Yeah.
God, I
He's about
can remember when you say on the air how he forbids his kids to listen.
Yeah.
Now it's God.
He's been married to the same woman for almost 40 years. Can you believe
I
that?
thought he
No.
He broke
The
up.
woman in the movie, yeah, before he's with somebody else now.
Oh, somebody told me he'd been with her all forever. Okay, well, that kind of that makes me feel.
Okay, we're gonna let you answer this question. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Dude.
Sports Econ 101 is still here. Edward Brown, your host. Bruce McGowan and Vernon Glenn in the studio with me, of course.
Yep.
Okay, so first trivia question regarding the World Series. In fact, you said you've gone back in time and know everyone.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I know.
Okay, who won in 1888?
Well, there wasn't any World
There
Series.
you go. Trick question for you.
That's
Okay,
right.
started 1903. All right, so here's the first trivia question. Which team had a record of 5 wins and no losses in the 7th game of World Series?
Well, think about how many teams won 5 World Series to begin with. And there are not that many teams that have. And then think, okay, a team like, say, the St. Louis Cardinals, they won more than 5. Or the Giants have won more than 5. They haven't won the 7th game. It's the Yankees.
That is incorrect.
No, you're kidding me.
Wow.
I'm
Really?
wrong? Who is it?
I'll tell you, one of them.
Who is it?
I'll give you a hint.
Oh, we're getting hints now.
The Yankees were on the losing end of a very famous 7th game.
Wow. The Dodgers?
No.
Can't be the Giants. Can't be the Giants.
Who won 1960?
The Pirates?
Yes.
The Pirates have won in
The
the
Pirates are 5-0
They've only won
in the
5
Game
World
7
Series.
elimination.
They've
Wow.
They've only won 5 World Series
There you go.
altogether.
The Pirates, 1912,
Yeah.
1925, that was Walter
Right.
Johnson, 1960, 71, Roberto
Right.
Clemente, right?
And 79.
We are family. Wow, I didn't
Isn't
know
that
that.
wild?
Wow,
Oh,
that's a good one.
Did
You
you like
got
that
to
one?
stump me.
Wow.
1925, I'd forgotten about that. I didn't do the one in 1912. I forgot 1925.
Who did they beat in 1912? I don't remember that.
Well, they didn't. They didn't win 1912. It couldn't have been because 1912 was the. No, it was the Red Sox beat the Giants. And they won in the famous game where Merkel had the boner, where he dropped the fly ball.
Oh, yes.
Merkel's boner.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, didn't the Red Sox win 5 of like the first 15 World Series? I mean, they just.
I have to
ran
correct
the table.
myself. It was actually a drop fly ball by Fred Snodgrass.
Oh, Snodgrass.
Yeah, and Merkel's boner was a few years before that. That sounds pretty funny, the boner.
I know.
You know, we're talking boners here.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy talk.
And this is
Guy talk.
this is a clean show.
This is a clean show.
Okay, so moving on here. Just reading recently about Steve Kerr concentrating on turnovers by the Warriors. He's trying to look at the team and going, okay, what are we doing wrong? He's the new coach after Mark Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah.
Personally, I think Steve's going to be an excellent, I'm predicting ahead of time he'll be an excellent coach. I think he's 100% right, concentrating on the turnovers for the Warriors, but also offensive rebounds. So next time you talk to Steve Kerr, tell him Edward Brown says not only the turnovers, but the offensive rebounds.
There you go.
We'll be seeing him in a matter of days.
Yeah.
In fact, his team got their exhibition season open earlier in the week at the Lakers.
And I think they're going to be that much better with Sean Livingston and Barbosa, who's a good, journeyman backup guy, and these young players, Klay Thompson and, of course, Stephen Curry. I mean, they're a fun team to watch.
Yeah, but what's going to happen when the injuries begin to mount?
Yeah,
that will tell me how
That's
good of
the
a
key.
coach he is.
Yeah.
The chess pieces that he then has to move.
I have to say, Mark Jackson did a heck of a job. And a lot of people are saying, oh, Steve Kerr's going to be great. Mark Jackson did a pretty darn good job. And he didn't have much of a group of assistants. This guy has a great assistant group. Alvin
He
Gentry.
probably doesn't have as much fire as
Mark Jackson could inspire a team.
Yeah.
He could.
Steve Kerr. He's more of a.
So why isn't he coaching a team now?
I don't think, it's interesting. I don't think he really wants to coach.
Maybe
Right now, it's funny. I've heard this. Now, again, I don't know if you've heard anything, but I heard he really likes spending more time with his family because when he does broadcasting, he doesn't have to travel as much, and he's got a really close relationship with his kids. So, and he's a hardcore Christian.
Yeah.
So that's
he's
really
a pastor too.
That's an important part of the religion is the family relationship, and I think he mentioned that a few times. I remember he said that's the only thing he didn't like about coaching the NBA was that he was away from his family a
He
lot.
probably sees what happens to kids when the parents or specifically the father's not involved.
Well, and the thing is, he's young enough; he can come back and do it in 10 years from now when his kids are grown up. So it's good for him. I like that. He's a good man too.
Good point.
Yeah.
So moving on here, Hope Solo,
Oh yes.
U.S. national women's team goalkeeper,
The embattled goalkeeper.
arrested for domestic violence against her sister
Have
and
you ever heard-
underage nephew.
Have you ever heard about the horror of this woman's upbringing? Have you heard it?
It just enlightened the audience because this boy
Well, I don't know all the details. I just know it was a
can't
very
judge the book by the cover.
No, but it
Not
was
at all.
very dysfunctional childhood, and it's amazing she's doing as well as she's doing. It's a credit to her that she has overcome a lot of these obstacles and is one of the best female athletes in the world. I mean, I give her credit.
Did she get arrested for going postal on her husband or boyfriend?
Yeah,
too?
boyfriend.
I mean,
She's got a temper. You don't want to get her mad. She's a big girl. She's like 6 foot tall, probably about 180 pounds. You don't want to get so mad at you. Not a good idea.
Mm-mm.
She'd probably knock out the lights on most guys.
Yeah, don't start running. She'll probably catch you.
Yeah, she probably would.
Yeah.
Beautiful woman too. She's she could be a model if she wanted to. I mean,
For some reason, that reminds me of that little kind of not story, but more of a joke where these two guys are camping, and suddenly they see a bear. And one guy starts running because you can't outrun a bear because a bear, right?
They're
You can't
fast.
outrun them. You can't
Especially
go
grizzly.
swimming.
Yeah.
They can climb trees.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun you.
Yeah. That's right.
That's
okay,
right.
so but going back to Hope Solo here. So here's a question: but she's still playing.
Yeah.
So is there a double standard? Is it because soccer is less important?
Well, you heard the
Because
story?
we're talking about the Ray Rice situation, right?
Yeah.
Because the violence wasn't against the spouse.
Yeah.
Because the perpetrator was a woman. I mean, there's just kind of questions.
Oh,
Why is
okay.
she still getting?
Well,
the
here's an interesting sidelight to this. I don't know if you heard this. Her backup goalie, who was kind of like her protege, was so disturbed by the fact that she's playing that she quit. The backup goalie quit. Said, "I'm not going to play for this team, and she should be suspended, and I'm not going to play for them."
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
That's
just
what I
stood on her principle so
Yeah.
much that
I agree. I have to say, hey,
because
good
normally
for her.
be like, hey, more playing
Well,
time.
well, that's what you
but-
do.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
she was also a good friend of Hope Solo's. I mean, more than a good friend, she was like a protege. Somebody that she was trying to model. I guess she looked at Hope Solo like, I don't want to model myself after this.
Yeah.
Wow.
But have you ever heard Hope Solo being interviewed? She's kind of got this rough edge too. You can tell she's. Have you seen her?
I've not personally interviewed her. I've seen her in interviews. I would prefer not to interview her.
Yeah, she's kind of got a rough edge.
Yeah.
It's like you can tell she's been brushed by some rough times.
Well, can you imagine all those soccer balls coming at you?
Ah.
You know? You gotta
Hey,
be-
it's a perfect job for her though. You know, she's used to being under fire, I guess you could say.
be
So, you know,
receiving it.
yeah.
So this, I took this out a little while ago. I thought it was kind of interesting. Okay, so the Oakland Raiders charge the most for beer.
Really?
$10.75 for a
What?
20-ounce beer. The St. Louis Rams charge $4.50 for 12-ounce beer, so it's not exactly
okay.
even. But that's kind of wild. You kind of wonder
Why in
how-
Oakland of
yeah.
all places? You know, their fans are
Bay
the
Area?
hardcore blue collar fans, and you're charging them $10.75 for.
$10.75
Maybe they don't want their fans to get too drunk. I don't know.
And
maybe.
in St. Louis, you know, it's a little bit, you know, more blue collar type.
More than Oakland? Oakland's
Well,
pretty blue collar.
Yeah, I know, but you're still in the Bay Area, though.
That's good. That's good to know because I leave for St. Louis tomorrow.
I tell you, whenever I go to a Raider game, I
Bring
feel
some
like.
beer back.
I'll be like, yeah, well, we have the Monday Night Football game. We
Oh, there you go.
have Niners Rams.
There you go. I just gonna say, whenever I go to a Raider game, I always feel like I'm not in the Bay. I'm in the Bay Area, but I'm not in the Bay Area in the sense that this is not like any other part of the Bay Area. The Raiders create an atmosphere there where their fans, you feel like you're going to some kind of event in a different dimension.
Because of a Star Wars event.
It's
They
bizarre.
already-
Don't you think that way, Vern? Sometimes
Yeah.
you know?
Did you see where Mike Holmgren paid him a visit the other
Yeah,
day?
Mike Holman dropped by to advise the Raiders on a possible and talk to Tony Sperano.
You know, and then he says, hey, yeah, no job was talked about. Yeah, like,
Come
we're, like
on.
I was born at night. I wasn't
Sure.
born last
Yeah.
night. Come on, you expect me to believe that? Come on.
He may be a friend of Reggie McKenzie's, but I think he was kind of interested.
Yeah.
But why would Mike Holman want to go coach the Raiders? Come
I
on.
don't think he did. I think it's just what you said. I
Yeah.
think they went to talk about probably Reggie said, "Hey, Mike, boy, look at
Stroke his
man,
ego a little.
man, we're
Yeah.
we're a hot mess. What do you do? You've been there.
That's a good way to
Yeah.
describe him. A hot mess.
Yeah.
I like the comments I heard from Justin Tuck though yesterday. He said, "We're going to get this straightened out, and you're going to be surprised this weekend when we play the." He didn't say it quite like that, but he sounded pretty optimistic. So I like to hear that. And he also said, "Our guys are just not playing with a lot of fire right now," which is pretty rare for an athlete to say.
Did he point the finger at him?
No.
Because he's the one that needs to
Well,
start
I think
putting
he.
pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, he's had a horrible start, so I'm thinking maybe he is pointing the finger at
I mean, I
himself.
can imagine, you know, if you're 0-4 and you're almost out of it already.
Yeah.
Almost.
You know?
They've got two good players in that team. Let's face it: the quarterback, Carr, the rookie, and
Who's injured?
Who's injured? Well, yeah, he's going to play though, but he is kind of dinged up. And then Khalil Mack, who may be a superstar in the making.
Well, Charles Woodson.
And Charles Woodson still's pretty good.
Yeah,
He's over the
gotta be
hill.
on his way out.
He's 37 now.
Yeah, but he's still playing at a high level.
Yeah,
You can
he
make an
is.
argument. You can make an argument. He's the best defender they have.
Yeah, he probably is, and he's got a great personality and a wonderful presence. I think the younger players.
And
I
he's
think-
talking smack too. He's
Oh,
back in the
yeah.
second. He's yelling at these guys, going, "Hey man, yeah, the old man is out playing all of you."
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's a coach on the field. I think if there's any coach on the field, Charles Woodson's the guy, and I bet you he gets into coaching.
Now, see, if I were a player, that would actually inspire me.
Yeah.
You know, because I wouldn't want this quote, old man of 36.
I love those guys, though. I love guys like him and Patrick Willis who are true football players. You talk to them, you know they play football,
Mhm.
and they're decent people. They're not guys that are going to get into trouble off the field. They're good guys who have the right values, and pro football needs to push these guys more. You know, push them to the front more and say, these are the guys we're asking you to come support, not, So anyway, just my opinion.
Woodson will be wearing a yellow jacket 5 years from now.
I agree.
Really?
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
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 No, he's
Yeah.
good. Hey guys, okay, we're gonna cut to our second commercial break. This
Already?
show goes-
Yeah, we're having too much
it
fun.
goes fast.
Jeez.
All right,
That's
okay.
what my wife was telling me the other night.
Again, back to that
Just
again,
teasing.
I think we don't get guests, and so we have to kind of go into that level.
Yeah, that's right.
We
That's
have, we
right.
have beautiful women sitting over there. Okay.
I didn't bring that up.
That's it.
That's
Sports Econ 101, babe.
right.
Staring at her computer screen.
Hey Don, did you hear that?
She's not paying any attention.
No, we have the
She
door
hears
closed.
nothing.
She hears nothing.
She hears
Okay.
nothing.
Okay. So which manager was the first to be ejected twice from World Series play?
Ooh.
You thought I was going to ask you some easy
That's
questions.
actually- no, no,
Who
that's
made the
a-
famous catch in 1954 into the Giants and
Yeah,
center
no,
field?
that's a good question.
Okay, so which
First
manager
manager to get kicked out twice.
kicked out
Twice
in
in a World Series.
Okay.
Yeah.
First three emails with the correct answer are going to win that free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Email Edward at sportsecon101.com the answer to this question. And the audience can't see it, but both of you guys have your hands behind your head going,
Trying to figure
I gotta
this
think
out.
about this one. Okay, so here's the World Series question. Which manager was the first to be ejected twice from World Series play? Now, personally, I would have thought it would have been John McGraw, but that's not the case.
Mhm.
All right, stay with us. Sports Econ 101 continues right after commercial messages.
Yeah, the umpires were too afraid to kick John
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
He was like he practically ran them.
No Napoleon, didn't they call
Oh,
him?
the little Napoleon. Yeah, he was a tough dude.
He was a good player too.
Very good player. Played with the old Baltimore Orioles. As a matter of fact, the original Orioles who had, God, they won. I think Ned Hanlon was on that team, and Huey Jennings, and
Pud Galvin.
God, I can't. You know, I know all this obscure baseball history for some reason. I don't know why. But my dad didn't get me into it. I just sort of he had it around, lying around, but I just sort of picked up.
That's the thing. I got into it. My dad
Yeah.
didn't really.
Yeah. When I was a kid, baseball truly was the sport in this country. Still, it was
Sure.
it was rapidly being caught by football, which overtook it in 1970, I think, with Monday Night Football and the league merger.
Yeah, but for 100 years it was
baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole people wanted faster, quicker, more exciting. They didn't like to sit there. And,
Sometimes that's the thing.
a lot of
about
people
baseball,
get bored
it
with
can't be slow.
baseball. Yeah,
Yeah.
they do. I like it because it's kind of timeless, and you feel like you can kind of just get away from
I
everything.
know everything can be a little different.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Good man.
So you have to decide where you're going tonight, Edward. You're gonna wait till they tell
Yeah.
you. Yeah. You were there yesterday, weren't you? You were there yesterday.
No, I was off.
Oh, okay. For some reason I thought I saw you.
I was off.
He's off Mondays and Tuesdays.
Dennis was there. I saw Dennis.
Yeah, Dennis. Yeah, he was live.
And that's so funny. Every once in a while, I keep thinking, hey, I got to call you up and see if you want to watch, Sunday game or something, weekend game. And I'm going, no, he's going to work.
Weekends? No, never.
Okay. Again, Sports Econ 101 is here. Edward Brown, Burns Glenn, Bruce McGowan, your hosts. Let's see. First, this is the second trivia question on the World Series. Which manager was the first to be ejected twice from World Series play?
I'm going to take a wild stab because he managed in, I think, 10 World Series. I'm going to say Casey Stengel.
That was my guess.
Yeah.
No. This would have been in
Before?
the 1990s.
1990s.
Bobby Cox?
Yes.
Bobby Cox. The
19
mild-mannered Bobby Cox.
1992 and 1996.
Wow.
Yep.
That's pretty good. That's a good trick question because I never would have guessed Bobby Cox. He's so mild man, but he has been kicked out.
But he has been kicked out a lot.
You ever interviewed him, Vern? What a nice man.
Mm-hmm.
Just a sweetheart. I mean, you meet the guy, and it's almost like you're meeting a next-door neighbor. Hey, how are you? And he'll remember your name and use your name during the interview. Yeah, well, Vern or well, Bruce,
His last game as manager at San Francisco.
Yeah, that's
remember?
right. Yeah, the Giants won the division.
Giants won the game. They walked to the field, and then Bochy went right in. He goes,
Yeah.
"Y'all get out of there, and you show them some respect."
Yeah, because they were
players
celebrating.
Players went
And,
right out.
Yeah, it was in Atlanta, and Bobby got a standing ovation from the fans from Atlanta, which was really nice.
For all those divisions, what was it, 18 years in a row or something ridiculous. They only won the one.
I know.
Mhm.
They were like the old Oakland Raiders. They'd always get to the edge, and then they couldn't. Yeah, they were in 4, I think, or 5. And they lost all of them except for 1.
Yeah.
And the one they won, a lot of people don't remember because it was right after the strike, and a lot of people weren't paying attention.
Cleveland Indians.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Maybe the Buffalo Bills of the
That's a good
Yeah,
comparison.
that
I
is
like
a good
that.
comparison.
Yeah.
Weren't they in 4 years in a row?
4. Yeah.
Oh, God. Unbelievable.
And the first year is the only one that they got really kind of close.
Oh, Scott Norwood on the missed kick.
Oh.
Can you imagine living with that?
And Jim Kelly's had to live with it all these years. He's actually battled back from cancer. He was right on death's door, with cancer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Doing much better now. Yeah, good guy.
So a little bit over here. Notre Dame had some academic fraud. What does the university need to do?
Oh my goodness.
What do you do?
Notre Dame,
Notre
academic
Dame.
fraud?
Prestigious Notre Dame
The
with
Golden
the honor,
Domers?
the honor code. And,
Come on.
well, wow.
The Golden Domers? Yeah, come
I'm
on.
gonna leave you guys at the. What do you think?
It happens with the best. It happens with the worst. Notre Dame's no better than any of the other schools. Are they, Vern?
No, and I think their quarterback had to sit out for a while because he had some academic GPA issues. But then he came back. But
Imagine though, you think about a program that fell on its face and just dragged itself through the mud. How about what Penn State did? In covering up for Joe Paterno, they probably killed him realizing that he had done that, covering up for his buddy who's now in jail, and ruining his reputation, basically just soiling his reputation. And not only soiling, you might as well just blow it up. Just blow it up. He probably did himself a favor by dying. Now people feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a program that went up in flames. Vernon, can you
well,
remember?
who benefited from that? Bill O'Brien benefited from that.
Oh yeah.
They he put that head coaching hat in and led it to like a decent record, and then at the moment the Houston Texans called, let me think about it. Yes.
I'm out of here. Happy Valley? It's not happy to me.
Yeah.
You have to think, go back to Paterno. I don't care how good a friend you have, when they're doing that kind of stuff, how could you
Well,
stand behind
you know, we don't know how much he knew, but he had to know something. This guy was his closest friend.
Yeah.
Or one of his closest friends. How could he not know what the guy was doing?
Yeah, but he's old school. I mean, he probably thought, he probably walked down the hall, hey, I've been hearing some stuff. Clean it up. You know, he's probably, and
Yeah,
they don't go back and go, well, I talked to him.
No, you know what?
You know?
To me, old school is you confront the guy and you go, "Hey, man up."
Yeah, man up and stop doing this, or you're out of here.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
to me is.
But I think what Vernon said is probably true. That's probably what Paterno did. Probably just say, hey, come on, you know.
Yeah.
Take care of it. And he didn't take care of it because it's a disease. It's a sickness.
And you know, you could probably had a million other things to think about.
Yeah. I won't even mention the guy's name because to me he's one of the scums of the earth. That guy ought to be. He'll never see the light of day.
And I worked with a guy in Baltimore, same name,
Ooh.
different spelling,
Ooh.
same name.
Oh, that poor guy.
He's still there. He's the voice of the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, luckily the people in Baltimore probably know the difference.
Right.
So, yeah, but that's still tough.
Yeah, can you imagine having the same names? You know, there was a situation when John Lennon got assassinated, and they were going to do a movie. They found a guy who sounded and looked just like John Lennon,
Wow.
and he was perfect for the role. And they said you can't have it because
Why?
his name was Mark Chapman.
Ah!
Who was the guy? Who
Wow.
was singing,
God.
yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, just give him a
And
stage
that young
name.
actor trying to get a break, and that's the worst break.
Wow.
Exactly.
You know, Mark Chapman's out of prison, by the way. He's out free now.
Well, that was 34 years ago.
I know, yeah, he's going to, I guess he goes to supervised meetings twice a week. But
Did they ever say why he did it?
he was trying to impress Jodie Foster, the actress.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, that was
No,
Reagan.
that was
Reagan.
I'm
No,
sorry.
this guy.
Oh, yeah.
This guy had voices in his head.
Voices
Didn't
in
he?
his head, yeah.
Yeah.
He just was crazy.
Okay.
It was,
those are the kind of
maybe
people you want
Hinckley
on
is the
the
guy.
street.
Maybe Hinckley's the guy that's out now. I think Hinckley's the
Yeah,
guy who shot Reagan,
Yeah.
but he didn't kill Reagan. So
No, that's
yeah.
true. Okay, so this is a few months ago. We had the Little League World Series, and you had None Davis, and you had the kids from Chicago.
Is
right?
it None or Monet?
Nene. Monet Davis.
Monet, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I would say None.
I remember Nene played
Nene's the dance. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And the basketball player.
So I'm just a curious kind of question here. Do you think, based on what we saw with Chicago, black kids always, you always
Inner
think
city.
inner city, you always
Yep.
think about basketball.
Yep.
Now, do you think that a lot of kids will turn to baseball after seeing these kids on TV and kind of going, you know what, maybe baseball's going to
I'm sure it sparks some initial interest. The only bad thing is around the country, Little League season was over.
Yeah.
So I mean, so you're asking a carryover from that for 6-7 months before Little League season gets started again.
Yeah. And it's so
Tough sell.
Tough in the inner cities, even though there are fields. I mean, the equipment,
that's
the
big
leagues,
thing.
it's just hard to get one started. And back in the old days, in the 50s and 60s, kids would do it on their own.
Mhm.
I mean, when I was a kid, we'd go out and play all day, and that stopped pretty much in the 70s. And I think it stopped in the inner cities, too. It was very much a part of American life.
Versus all you have to have is a basketball.
Yeah.
And it's a
Two
bunch
guys
of baskets, which
just
are
play
pretty
one-on-one
easy
with
to
a hoop. Yeah, you don't even need a good hoop.
Yeah,
Baseball, you need a field. It doesn't have to be a great field, but you got to have some. I guess you can play out in the street. Kids play
True,
street
and
ball.
then theoretically you got to have 18 people.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You can play. We played with 6. Just cut off, everything in pitcher's hand.
Yeah.
I love pitcher's
Oh
hand.
man, I remember all
Yeah.
this. That was good times.
Yeah, remember that Uncle Joe's bumper
Yeah.
is foul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you went over so-and-so's fence into her garden, you wouldn't get it back either.
Right.
Because you would not get it back. I remember there was a woman, seriously, who kept
Yeah.
15 balls that we hit over.
You
her
see
fence.
this? It's fine now.
Yeah.
It's just like the
It's
movie
fine.
Sandlot.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we tried it. We'd always try it. It was always to straightaway center, so we try to pull it. And anytime we'd have to center, please don't hit it over the center field fence. One time we snuck in there and got it back, but she was a terror. She'd come out with a revolver and shake it at us. Seriously.
Wow.
Are you?
Yeah. Oh, she wouldn't point it. She'd just shake it. And that in those days, you could do that kind of thing and get away with it. Kids respected that. I hate to say it. It was like, crazy old whatever her name was. I don't even remember the lady's name. Yeah, she shook this revolver at us. It's like, oh.
Did the old Charlton Heston?
My gun! Get off of my lawn!
Yeah, Clint Eastwood, yeah.
Yeah.
No 357.
There's another famous line. Like, get off of my plane. Remember Harrison Ford said that?
Yes,
in
Air Force One.
Air Force One. He was the
great
president.
Film. Great film.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved Gary Oldman as the villain. He was perfect.
He was good.
You just hated him at the end of the movie. You loved it when he got kicked off the plane.
Yeah.
You loved it.
One of my favorite lines from that Air Force One is when down in the plane and he's trying to call the White House.
And the lady
operator's
doesn't.
like, yeah, lady. He goes, trace the call. Okay.
Oh, I figured this one out.
That's a good one. I like that.
It is.
Okay, so Vince Young said that he would have stayed in school if he knew that the Texans weren't going to draft him. And remember, he played for Texas, right?
Right.
So he wanted to stay in Texas. What could he have done to ensure being drafted by the Texans? I don't know how you can. Hello, I'm here. I want to stay in Texas. Can you please draft me?
Maybe they just weren't interested in him. They had a quarterback at the time, I guess. They had was it David Carr?
Yeah, but also who was the first round draft choice?
Yeah.
Wasn't he a first round draft?
I think he was.
Yeah,
Tennessee.
He was the Titans' first
Is he
round
playing
pick.
anywhere?
No.
He's not playing anywhere.
I read he
It's hard to
was
believe.
going to try and make a comeback, but he.
How old is he? 28?
Yeah.
Young,
Yeah.
but
27? Great athlete.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember who
Somebody
was
will
the
pick
other
him up.
quarterback. Who did he beat in the Rose Bowl? Because he was another good quarterback.
Oh, that's right. They beat USC.
USC.
Yeah, that was a great game.
That was
By the way,
a
he
very
scored a
good
touchdown on
Yep.
an
Was
option.
it Matt Leinart or was it?
Yeah, I think you might have been.
Or was it
There-
Sanchez?
and there-
Or was it Sanchez? Mark Sanchez.
It might have been Sanchez.
I
Yeah.
can't remember now.
Boy, Leonard turned out to be a bust.
I think it was Mark Sanchez because
I think you're right.
what's his name was the running back who had the big game.
Reggie Bush?
Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah,
Okay.
I was trying to think of all. There was somebody really famous on USC at the time. It was Reggie Bush.
Some listener in LA right now is saying, no, that's not who it was. Come on, you guys.
I know.
Come on. We don't know our LA teams that well.
Sorry
Yeah,
about
somewhat,
that.
yeah.
guys.
We live in San Francisco. What we
So
can do?
last thing here I had was about Roger Goodell.
Oh, what a great
Oh, the
game.
boss.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of looking through some comments on these people who did Facebook or Twitter.
I love that
something like
picture that they put on Instagram of him after
Yeah,
during
this
the
was
he has
in
this like
Sports
sheepish
Illustrated.
look. Yeah.
Yeah, so here were some people who, it's going back a little ways, but it says, his job will be safe until the NFL starts losing money.
That's right.
Sure.
They're not going to get rid of this guy. He's made him
Sponsors start dropping out, stuff like that. Yeah, he won't.
Hasn't he made them more money than the previous?
He's made every NFL owner just even more of a billionaire than
Yeah.
they were
They're
before.
not going to get rid of this guy. He's going to have to, be caught defrocking his dog or something.
Yeah.
If you can do that, I guess you can. Your dog is a bishop or something. Or a priest. I don't know. Just say, hey, you're no longer a priest. Sorry, I'm taking it away from you. Yeah.
Depriesting him,
Yeah.
defrauding him.
There you
So
go.
this other guy says Roger Goodell is not paid to be a defender against domestic violence or child abuse. He's paid to be commissioner of a sports league
Yeah.
to make the owners money,
That's right.
and he's done a very good job of that.
That's right. You can't argue with that. I mean, he does have to set a high standard, but at the same time, that's not his primary job. If this football thing was really getting out of hand, which a lot of people think it is, then they'd probably be more hue and cry. How many guys have committed domestic violence, though, in the last couple of years? There's been enough to cause some smoke and flames, but I don't think it's enough to kick him out of his office.
And he makes what, $40 million a year?
Something like
44.
that. Yeah. 44 million?
44 million.
Yeah, he makes far more than any athlete.
Yeah.
Far more. Well, he's
how
more
much
important.
did the guy? How much? Who's it? Tagliabue was before him.
Yeah, Tagliabue.
How much did he make? He
Probably
made
not
$5
nearly as
million
much,
or something,
no.
right?
I remember Pete Rozelle at his peak was making $3 million, and that was considered a lot of money, but that was a long
That
time
was a
ago.
long time ago.
Yeah.
But $44 million. I mean, gosh, I would do it for $34 million.
I'd do it for 24. How about you, Vern? 24
I just lost my job to you.
$12 an hour.
$12 an hour.
I know. Some of these things I do. Listen, if I could play baseball, I do it for
Sign
free.
me up. Sign me
I
up.
definitely would.
Yeah.
You
All right.
see what Eva would say about that.
I know she'd want to kick me out of the house sometimes. I'll tell you.
All right.
That's okay.
Okay. So here, let's
You'll go
see.
back a happier, wiser man.
Yes, I will. So I was looking at this thing here: $13,477,333 amount U.S. golfer Billy Horschel earned over the last 3 weeks. Now, this is
Wow.
going back to September. He won 2 tournaments and finished second in a third, and took home a $10 million bonus for winning the FedEx Points title.
How much
You
is that?
can go from a nobody to somebody
Boy.
just like that.
That's a great thing about golf. How much of that does he actually get to keep? How much is
Yeah.
Uncle
I would
Sam?
like to know the breakdown. How much Uncle Sam gets?
Yeah.
You got to pay.
50%?
Got to pay your caddy.
Yeah, well,
You
you
got-
know.
You know what?
Because
In the, it's roughly he'll get to keep 60% of it,
60%,
roughly.
okay.
But in the old days, with the Personal Service Corporation, they used to take like personal holding tax or whatever. They would take about 70%.
Wow.
Over 70%.
Is that right?
Hey
Wow.
guys, last commercial break here. What Hall of Famer set an unenviable record of the most official career at-bats in a 7th game without a hit?
Ooh, that's a
Kind
good one.
of
Hall of
tough.
Famer?
Most ABs,
Hall of
7
Famer.
games.
Hall's a Hall of Famer. And he's had the
Wow.
most official career at-bats in the 7th game without a hit.
Wow.
All right? Stay with us. You're
It's not a trick question, right? It's not a pitch. It's not a pitch. It's not a pitcher.
someone you
Okay.
will have heard of.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. And it's somebody from the 60s.
Oh.
Okay? That's
Okay.
a known from the 60s.
Okay.
All right, stay with us because the Sports Econ 101 will be continuing on and we'll have some closing comments.
All right.
Yeah.
This ought to be interesting. 7th game. He never got a hit in the 7th game.
Correct.
And he's a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer.
5 times. How many games did he do it?
You know, I don't know the answer to that.
A considerable number, like 6 or 7 probably. Or
Well, this, let's see here.
I mean, he played a lot of.
Yes.
His
He went,
team-
okay, I'll tell you this. He went, well, I'll tell you.
Okay, his team went to a lot of World Series. In other words, probably somebody on the
just about.
Yankees. I bet you it's Mickey Mantle. That's what I'm going to guess. What do you think, Vernon? Mickey Mantle sound right to you? Although Mickey Mantle hit 18 homers in the World Series.
Yeah.
18. He actually had a walk-off one. His last World Series he played in, he had a walk-off homer against St. Louis. Game 3. At Yankee Stadium.
I wasn't a Yankee fan,
Barney
but I
Schultz
watched.
throwing a knuckleball. He said he came up to the plate about 60 miles an hour, and he goes, "It looked like I was hitting a pineapple." Mickey, ever interviewed Mickey Mantle? Vernon?
No.
I got to interview him one time at an old-timers event. God, he was crusty. Who are you? What do you want to talk about?
You know what, guys?
No, he was okay. He just was crusty. You know, I like crusty guys.
Is that good, you guys? Okay.
I do. Vernon likes them too because they're more fun, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like Mike. Have you ever interviewed Mike Tyson?
Oh, yeah.
God, isn't he fun? I love talking to Mike Tyson because he's so unpredictable. It's like,
I love that voice.
yeah, he's a very sharp guy too. He's not well educated, but very smart.
Street smart.
Street smart. He knows if you have an agenda and you're going to ask him some bullshit question, he'll pick up on
Call you
it.
up.
Oh my God! Well, did you see that video of that
Yeah,
guy from
careful.
Canada? Oh, sorry, the announcer from Canada.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, the problem with you is you're a fucker. You should. Oh, come on now, Mike. Listen. No, you brought it up.
You're a piece of shit.
You're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Bring that shit up. That's 25 years ago.
I'm guessing that because
Thank you, Mike, for drink.
F you.
The guy just looks like this. That was funny.
My guess is because he talked like that, he probably got picked on as a kid.
Oh, no, he did not.
No, no.
All those reform schools he's been.
Oh my
no.
God, no.
Oh, he was a tough guy from the womb.
Tough.
Oh, yeah. Tyson?
Tyson always could handle himself.
Really? Okay. I
Always.
was wondering like what made him.
No, he
tough.
was
Just tough.
well, probably in Brownsville. I mean,
Yeah.
he probably grew up in some mean streets
Probably
around
had
him.
to- probably got in a lot of fights.
New York.
There was a
Up in
guy.
near the Catskills.
Oh.
Yeah.
There was a guy. It's an interesting story. I don't want to get off on a tangent. There was a guy about 20 years ago in Oakland. His name was something like His nickname was Knockout, and he didn't fight professionally. Oh, he fought in, like when he was a kid, but it was never anything that he did that was noteworthy. But he basically got busted for knocking people out. He'd come up, give me your money. No. Boom! He'd just give you a right hook. And they called him so-and-so knockout. He had 20 years in jail. So he got the toughest right hand. So in prison, they tried to make him into a boxer, and he didn't want to do it. So kind of sad. He had that ability.
Being a thug versus.
But he had that punch, Probably know where to hit you just right,
Yeah.
They say if you hit you right here, that's where you want to hit somebody. Right there, yeah. So it's not that hard, that part of it, and then also there's a vein right there that sometimes you can kind of compress, and it'll cut the blood off. That's what a boxer told me once. So you want to hit a guy, don't hit him here, hit him here.
Yeah,
Wow,
the movie Gladiator,
Yeah.
where Brian Dennehy goes like this. He goes.
Brian Dennehy?
Brian Dennehy was in Gladiator?
Not the one with Russell Crowe.
Oh.
The one it's called. If it's either called Gladiator or The Gladiator.
Oh, okay.
Get the one with Brian Dennehy. It's about boxing.
Okay.
It's a good, fun movie.
Oh. Is it a kind of comedy?
No.
Oh. Is Brian Dennehy like a trainer or something?
He's an old professional boxer who owns a gym.
It looks like he could have been a boxer.
Yeah. Okay.
Big Irish thug.
Sports Econ 101 continues. I'm Edward Brown, your host, Bruce McGowan and Vern Glenn in the studio here.
Yes, we are.
Third trivia question. What Hall of Famer set an unenviable record of the most official career at-bats in a 7th game without a hit?
I'm going to say it's one or two guys, either Yogi Berra or Mickey Mantle.
Wrong team.
Wrong team.
I'm gonna.
Oh, give me a team.
He was 0 for 11 in 3 games.
In 3 games. Okay. Which
Jackie Robinson.
Jackie Robinson. No.
No, that would have been good. No, we're talking the 60s.
Oh, 60s.
Ah, the 60s.
Hall of Famer, but I will tell you, he's well known for being on the Giants.
Oh, Orlando Cepeda?
That is correct.
The baby bull.
Yeah, one with the Giants and 2 with the Cardinals.
There you go.
Very
He had
good.
a charmed career. We got to get him on the show. As a matter of fact, he'd be a great guest.
He's at the ballpark all the time.
We'll get him on the show.
All the time.
He is 70.
Is he that young?
76.
Okay, all right.
Or 1938. He was a rookie. He was 20-year-old rookie in 1958.
There you go. Okay.
Loves to talk. Get him off on Latin jazz. To talk about Tito Puente and Mungo Santa
Tito
Maria.
Fuentes, he used to play second base for the
Oh,
Giants.
Tito Puente,
Oh,
the
not Tito-
vibraphonist.
not
Come
Tito
on,
Fuentes.
Bert.
Okay.
Or come on, Edward. Jeez.
Okay, so here's our thoughts for the day. The oldest Major League Baseball teams are the Atlanta Braves and the Chicago Cubs. Both were formed in 1871 as the Boston Red Stockings and the Chicago White Stockings,
Yeah,
respectively, of the National Association.
that's right.
Okay, and on June 29, 1916, the Chicago Cubs and Cincinnati Reds played a 9-inning baseball game with just a single baseman.
Whoa. This was what year?
Wow.
1916.
I knew they played with fewer baseballs. As a matter of fact, they'd go into the stands and
So you
get
hit
them.
a
Yeah,
foul
yeah.
ball. Okay,
Yeah.
kid, go.
Go get that ball.
And in
Here's a
those days-
quarter. Go get that
In
ball.
those days, you could spit on the ball, and guys would chew coffee beans, or they'd
Yeah,
chew
do
licorice, and
anything,
they'd
yeah.
spit on the ball and turn it black
That
as
is
they. Yeah,
So nowadays, the average lifespan of a Major League Baseball is 7 pitches.
yeah.
So I
That's
guess-
that much.
I guess foul balls in the stands
Wow.
had to be given back to the umpire.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, tune in next week to Sports Econ 101. We're going to be discussing sports topic. Actually, next week we're going to be talking about best position players.
It's
of all time.
a special.
It's a
Oh,
special
it's a
show.
special.
That's right. You're listening.
It's a special show.
That's
Mike
right.
Tyson would say.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
On behalf of our team, I'm your host, Edward Brown. We'll see you next week.
Good night, Erica.
So long.